Up at Noon is brought to you by Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 2, available to download now.
Previously on Up at Noon.
Holy crap, you're Sam Witwer from Being Human.
Yes, I am. Hi.
Yeah, it's that show where you're a vampire and you live with a ghost and a werewolf. They're your roommates.
So a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost who live together in an apartment and try to teach themselves to be human. It's kind of
Do you ever have any other old school movie monsters be your roommates? Like if the Invisible Man shows up, do you make him pay rent even though you can't even see him?
No.
All right, so you just got your carpets clean. And everything's clean, right? But then the Swamp Thing comes over because you guys are friends with the Swamp Thing.
It's not really It's not a Swamp Thing type of show.
You ever get the mummy confused with the toilet paper?
No time for mummies. It doesn't take place in
about Count Chocula.
Well, we try to keep it grounded. It's basically the idea of the show is that it's very
You
grounded.
ever have a Jedi live in your apartment with you?
What's up?
You have never seen the show before, have you?
I'll watch the show. Time's it on. Sexy o'clock.
What's up, everybody? Yes, we are back for a new year, and yes, Sam Witwer is here, and he is as dreamy in The Force Unleashed as he is in real life. But are you ready to unleash your laughs?
Yeah!
It's the best we could do. Force Unleashed. We will get better in 2014, I promise. Anyways, we have another star from Telltale's The Walking Dead to talk about how Season 2 has changed her character, and then Starkiller from Force Unleashed, Doomsday from Smallville, Aiden from Being Human. Sam Witwer is here to talk about being rad. But first, news you care about. Microsoft and Sony have announced sales numbers for their new game consoles, with the Xbox One selling 3 million units and the PlayStation 4 selling 4 million units. Now, if you think those sales comparisons are a little too apples to apples, the game Apples to Apples has probably sold more than both of them, proving once again that video game sales numbers don't mean The upcoming first-person shooter Titanfall has been confirmed to support only 12 players per match. And fans are pissed? Yeah. Right? Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, more players always means more fun. Right, Mag? That's right, everybody, Mag. I didn't forget about this massive action game. 256 players at once, none of them having fun. You needed all the people in the game, though, didn't you? At last week's CES, Sony revealed that its PlayStation game streaming service has been named PlayStation Now and will be launching very soon. Now, how do visually intense games like The Last of Us translate when they're being played over a streaming service? We went hands-on to find out.
What's going on out there?
I got some notion.
Holy shit.
First time seeing a monkey?
First time seeing a monkey.
It's the last of us, we're the last of us, we're here. Hey, remember that time when we saw giraffes and stuff, monkeys and things, and now we're looking at the credits. Next up is Die Hard on AMC, so stay tuned to watch it, cause John McClane is awesome!
You do not need to clap for that. The future is here, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't know how to sing. Speaking of CES, Mini Gregway, during a live Samsung TV presentation, movie director Michael Bay walked off stage mid-presentation after flubbing his lines when the teleprompter broke. Right? Well, I can't believe he would. What an idiot. Anybody can stand on stage, right, and do what he did better than what he did, right? Wrong. What the was going on this day? I don't understand. First off, it's like we're 6 days into 2014, and we're all like, we'll be better people to better people. We'll be better people overall as a human race. And the first guy who has a human moment in front of thousands of people in real life, in front of millions watching online, everyone is so quick to pick apart and say, you. I know that I make this being mediocre at reading a teleprompter look really good. It's harder than you think, let alone the fact that this guy's a director. He's behind the scenes. You think if Tim Geddes came out here and tried to host something, he'd know what the to do if the teleprompter broke? He wouldn't. So all I'm saying here is that he wasn't trained to be a teleprompter reading person. And everybody's like, why didn't he just ad lib? That's easy enough. When the teleprompter breaks, you're not sitting there thinking, well, I'll just ad lib about what it was like directing Transformers. You're thinking, what the am I going to do? They promised me a check and a teleprompter that worked, and it didn't happen. So everyone needs to back the up off this guy and let him have public speaking, right? Public speaking, people aren't all like, oh, that's my favorite thing to do. It's like the number one, go yourself, internet. Greg Martin, the incredible artist behind the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 box art, as well as countless other classic covers, passed away this week. But as tragic as that story is, what's even more tragic is that he leaves behind a world filled with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 fan art that he inspired. Just awful. Just the worst thing. And finally, with Season 2 of Telltale's The Walking Dead finally upon us, an older and stronger Clementine now has to learn to face the post-apocalyptic world of the undead alone. To see how she is coping with these changes, we go live to Clementine herself in The Walking Dead. Clementine!
Oh, God. Hey, Greg. Jeez, what a disaster this place is. Lee!
Whoa. Clementine, what the hell happened to you? I mean, you grew up fast? Is that what?
Yeah, life's been hitting me pretty hard out here, Lee. Lee! I mean, the whole world is bad. My family's dead. There's an army of walkers out there trying to eat me the whole time. I think I found Lee's hand. That's not even the worst part.
I mean, yeah, I can imagine. I mean, the worst part has to be just that, the constant loss of life around you, just watching your world that was once so normal disappear into chaos. And
No, it's puberty. Puberty, Greg, it's mostly the puberty. This body is disgusting now. All right, all that other stuff with the death and the bad, it's all horrible, don't get me wrong. But my body is going through some weird Look at all this hair, it's all over me. I'm a young girl, I shave and it comes right back. My chest is getting weird. It's growing a little lopsided. It's kind of like getting a kiwi and a mango when you wanted to get two melons.
Clementine, I do not believe I'm the right person for you to talk to about this. I mean, is there any other... What do little girls like? Are there any boys you like in... is it hard to date in the undead apocalypse?
Well, I had tickets to this Justin Bieber concert, and then Justin Bieber got bitten by walkers, so I canceled it. Yeah, I clapped too. I actually think his music's better now. Is it weird that I kind of want him to bite me on the neck? Just a little peck on the neck. I'm sorry, my voice does this sometimes. It gets real deep for a minute, Greg. It's gross, it's disgusting, look at me. Other than that, I've been practicing kissing boys with this sexy severed head I found.
Oh, all right, Clementine. Most of the ailments you're describing are not female. Okay, you know what? It's a lot to take in. You are growing up very fast. Please make sure to stay safe out there.
Hey, there's a cute boy over there. Hey, you want to make out? Lee! Lee!
Okay, Clementine, ladies and gentlemen. She's changed a lot. Speaking of changing a lot, Greg Way, my next guest changes in just about every role he's in. 1 minute he's nice, the next he's a vampire. 1 minute he's smiling at Chloe, the next he's Doomsday. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Being Human's Sam Witwer. Sam Witwer, how are you?
Greg, how you doing?
I'm excellent. Thank you for coming all this way to be here with us.
Yes, all the way from Southern California.
It's a hike, I hear. You got that vortex of cold going around.
Oh, yeah. Well, wait a second. The vortex isn't it in the Midwest? And
I don't really understand California. I don't know.
I don't get it either.
You're here.
Yeah.
You're one of these young up and coming actors. You're 21 and you got this career I can't believe already.
Yeah.
At what point do you just hang it up and stop?
22.
22, that's what it's going to be. So you're connected to Star Wars, Superman, and now being an awesome vampire.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the rounds to just about every kind of franchise that you can
What's
come
next?
up with. I'm going to be playing Ben Affleck in an adaptation of the making of the next Superman film.
I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about being human.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Tell everyone at home, my mom, who's never watched it, she doesn't watch Sci-Fi Channel. She hates it.
Being human is the story.
I don't know why she's against sci-fi.
This is for your mom.
Yeah, Jamie.
Which camera is your mom?
That one.
That's your mom. All right,
name's
listen.
Jamie.
Listen, Jamie.
Her sister taught you in high school.
Jamie. That's true.
Small world.
Jamie, the sister of Miss Kennedy, who I took classes from in high school. Isn't that weird? We grew up in the same area.
Yeah. We didn't know about it till today.
No, we just found out. You grew up in the same area, and I took classes from your aunt.
Yeah. Hi, Aunt Del.
You're not off the You're not off the hook. Listen. Being human is about a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost who move into an apartment together and try to teach each other to be human. Right? It's called being human. It sounds like a joke.
A vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost walk into a house.
Well, in season 4 we had a rabbi, but it's actually a drama. But it's a drama in which these characters are not unaware of how ridiculous their situation is, so it's very funny as well. So
who do you play in the show?
Well, I thought the pale skin would tip you off, pal.
You are in an office that only plays video games.
Oh, this is true.
You blend right in.
This is true.
Except for the muscles. That's the part where we're like, wait a second.
But that's because you guys don't, can't afford steroids. So.
Damn.
Very expensive.
Being human's a hard show to be on.
Yeah, you gotta do all kinds of weird stuff. No, it's a very odd show, and I think it's best when it's very grounded, and it's really more about these people hanging out in the kitchen having arguments about, someone being late to pay rent and stuff like that, or how do you, what are you going to do on a date tonight and stuff like that. But then people get hurt.
Of course.
People get killed, and it's, that's
that was the fun thing, like, even in the pilot episode, right? Like, you come off as this, like, oh, I'm a nice vampire, and then immediately kill somebody.
Murder. Yeah, the first thing that he does in the pilot is murders a beautiful.
Well, first thing he does, he starts having sex.
Well,
then murders the girl.
And then he murders. Well, you got to do one, then the other. Otherwise, that's all wrong.
I guess so.
Yeah, take it from me.
I've been doing it wrong.
Oh, you've been. That's exactly right.
Only murder.
Only murder.
Yeah, but you just mentioned yourself. 4 seasons already under your belt for this guy.
4 seasons. We just finished season 4, and I'm still kind of recovering from it. It's very intense.
Why is that? They being rough on you? Leave
yes,
them alone.
they are. Greg, thank you for asking, man.
problem.
It's really rough. They just. Oh. What's that made of? That's good.
Probably some
Who are
kind
you
of
wearing?
wool.
Yeah.
Well, it's Men's Warehouse, of course.
Men's Warehouse.
Yeah.
You're wearing
Before they got rid of Zimmerman.
Oh,
that was the problem.
I see.
You go after my boy, I'm out.
And you're done.
All right.
Yeah. But no, they beat the hell out of me this year, man. They did. Yeah, I got beat up.
Do you do your own stunts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
It's stupid.
You got to protect all this.
It's dumb. It's really dumb. I don't do the. Oh, we need someone to fall down the stairs. I'll do it. Why? I just say that. What am I thinking? But yeah. We do stupid things on that show.
Yeah.
My eyelashes on this side are shorter than this side because I got burned and stuff and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
I don't like this. I'm gonna have to call your mother.
Please.
This isn't like I just went through. You've done a bunch of awesome nerdy roles. Star Wars, Smallville. Now being human. You went to Juilliard though.
Yes.
So you're a thespian.
Which one is the one that's into chicks?
That's lesbian.
Right. That's one of those two.
Yeah.
One of those two.
You can be a little bit of both.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm both a thespian and a lesbian.
Yeah, bi-thespian.
I'm king lesbian, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Really into chicks.
How much of this interview is going to air, I wonder?
I think all of it. Come on.
Okay, great. That's what I like to hear.
Put it up.
So when you're at Juilliard, you're one of these big time actors, a bunch of hoity-toity people there with their doilies and stuff. Right. I mean, like, were you prepping? Was this the kind of acting you wanted to do? Go do awesome, cool stuff?
No. I was the guy who wanted to do film and TV, but at that time, they were like, "No, you should talk about theater," and I'm just like, "Well, I should talk about wanting to eat when I grow up." They weren't entirely hip on that at the time. I think now they've adjusted a little bit. They realize that people like to get paid.
Yeah, that's usually helpful.
Yeah. For jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And living and eating, like you
said.
Yeah.
Living in a place.
Yeah. Doing the things.
Buying things.
Yeah.
To live.
Okay.
It was a wonderful experience because you do become aware. Like, for example, if it wasn't for Juilliard, I wouldn't be able to do like all the voiceover stuff for like, the the geeky stuff that I do. I wouldn't have done Clone Wars and stuff if I wasn't able to, have some awareness of how my voice works and stuff like that.
Were you ready to go into all that stuff? Because, I think when people think of you in Star Wars, they think of Force Unleashed, Starkiller. Sure. You had 2 games. You were on the cover. You were a big deal.
Oh, thank you.
They modeled your face.
My goodness.
Yeah. But then now you do the Clone Wars stuff. You're the Emperor.
Well, no, I'm Darth Maul.
Why did I get lied to about you being
Because I'm the Emperor in The Force Unleashed. That's how it gets confused. I did Palpatine.
Okay, lead me through it.
I have scenes with myself in Force Unleashed. I play with myself in Force Unleashed.
Well, that sounds weird to begin with.
Yeah, we just said it.
So what, do you just go back and forth in the booth, or do you do one line by one line? So you do all of Starkiller and then you did all of Emperor?
It was like an on-camera gig, so like I'd have the camera on me and there'd be someone feeding me the Starkiller lines and I'd be the Emperor, and then...
Did you ever get mad at the guy doing the Starkiller lines?
Yeah, I wasn't doing it right. Yeah, I'm like, that's not the way you do it.
Yeah,
Come on. You have to... Here, first of all, just, I'm like, I took a marker and made his eyebrows really thick, and I was like, go like this. And like, they're perfect,
Nailed it.
Broody dick.
Yeah.
And then you got Starkiller down.
Okay.
Yeah. Or any character that I play, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, you're
Broody
Darth Maul.
dicks, yeah.
Yeah.
Darth Maul's a broody dick.
Yeah. Where does that come from?
I'm just a broody dick.
No, you're a nice guy. I like you.
Sorta. Yeah, no, the Darth Maul thing came about because of The Force Unleashed.
Is it like the Mafia over there? Once you're Mark Star Wars and they're like, he's cool, and you just keep coming back?
Yes, it is. Yeah, if you do a good turn for Lucasfilm, they tend to remember that.
Yeah.
Which is great. The Starkiller thing led to a character called the Sun in season 3 of the Clone Wars. There were a few episodes where, they kept saying, "Hey, do you want to do the Clone Wars?" I'm like, "Sure." And they're like, "It's a really cool role." I'm like, "I already said sure. You don't have to sell it. Star Wars, I'm in." And then I found out it was 3 episodes. And then I found out after the fact, like a few days before, they're like, "Okay, so the character is the dark side of the Force." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "No, you're playing the dark side of the Force." And it was this whole thing where, remember that cave that Luke goes into on Dagobah?
Oh yeah.
It's like a whole planet that was like that. And Obi-Wan and Anakin and Ahsoka, they meet these characters who are representative of different elements. And there's one character called the Sun who is the dark side of the Force. So you get to hear little pieces of different villains in his voice. So I got to do that. That was fun. And when I did that, Dave Filoni was like, there might be something down the road for you. And then that was the Darth Maul role.
Intimidating to step into those shoes? I mean, to be...
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Horrifying, because you have these guys and girls who, if you do it wrong, are going to let you know all about it on Twitter.
Dear Sam, your Emperor is terrible. I hate your Darth Maul. Oh, terrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. People, fans of this stuff, you're a fan, I'm a fan, we understand that this stuff is important.
Right.
And so you don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
So
a lot riding on it.
And then, that's basically what it is. I just wanted to, do it right, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of doing right, let's get to the heart of the matter. You were on Smallville. Good f***ing God. I'm excited. Now, what about that one? Tell me all about that one. I want you to start from the moment you heard about you were going to be on, and then to the end. What does Tom Welling smell like?
Like lavender, my friend.
Oh, I imagine. Oh.
He's a tall guy.
Yeah.
He's a really tall guy. He's like got to be about 6'8".
That's
or something. No, he's really tall. The entire cast was tall. Like I'm 6'1", so I'm used to kind of being one of the taller guys, but that cast, I was the short guy.
Sure.
Which just made me so angry, which is perfect for the role. But basically, I got called in by the producers, and they said, "We want to talk about you doing this role." And I had no idea why the hell they wanted me in there for some reason, but someone got it in their head that I needed to play this role, whatever it was. They sat me down, and he's this, they described a bartender. At the time, he was a bartender. And they said, and then he becomes Doomsday. And I'm like, are you me? Are you joking? That's not Doomsday. He's not a bartender. And then, they were like, no, he's a nice guy, but we're going to create this whole human persona for him, and he will transform. And I thought that was interesting. I thought it was an interesting thing. And I thought that, wow, we're going to get killed for this unless we do this kind of well.
Yeah.
Because like as soon as, some dude named Witwer is playing Doomsday, fans weren't terribly happy about that.
No, yeah.
And then when we started airing, they were nice to us.
Sure.
But up until then, they were just like...
I think maybe the fact that Doomsday's story is kind of dumb to begin with, it probably helps you out.
Sure.
They give you a real story, like, oh, okay. He didn't just wake up in a metal casket.
What is the deal? Like he I remember reading all the comic books to get ready for the role, and it's just like, everything's going fine on Sunday, you're hanging out, you're reading a newspaper. Oh, a dude jumps out of the ground and starts killing everyone.
Yeah.
And he's got green shorts.
Yeah.
Dude in green shorts.
He's never heard the English language, but he hears someone on TV say Metropolis,
and
remembers that, and goes to Metropolis.
Right.
DC Comics, they weren't batting 1,000 back
then. That's how it goes.
Good stuff, though.
Right, exactly.
They did a lot. They got better. Can we bring out the Small of Fame? Of course, every time. The only reason I have this show, I was like, IGN will help promote video games and all this other stuff. It's the Small of Fame, where every time I'm gonna get everyone from Smallville at some point.
Can I sign
Get this crap out of here? Nobody cares.
Right. Can I sign Justin Hartley's?
No, you can't.
Okay.
You can call him though and tell him to come on this show.
All right.
Well, I got silver too if you want silver.
This guy.
You want black? All right.
Well, you know what? Let's do silver.
Huh?
Yeah.
I have envisioned every one of these people signing it. I know what it should look like.
Yeah.
Another one off there. Hi, Brian. Thanks, Brian. I like that Brian. He's a good kid.
He's a good guy.
He doesn't get enough credit for everything.
Yeah.
Put this thing back over here. There. Anyways. Here's the other thing I think is a really interesting story about you. And I've only
you have stories about me.
Yes, I do.
From Del Kennedy?
No. Well, I heard you had long hair. She did text me that you have long hair.
Yeah,
then she asked for an autograph photo. So we got to work on that after the show. But AMC's The Walking Dead.
Ooh, you want to know about this?
I do want to know about this. Does everyone know he was in AMC's The Walking Dead? In the first episode, he is the zombie in the tank.
Yeah.
That Rick shoots and the ears ring and stuff. And it was one of those, watching it, I was like, oh, that guy looks like, oh, it's over. See you later. It couldn't have been him, obviously.
That was
uncredited.
Right.
Tell me all about it.
Well, okay, so Frank Darabont, who I worked with on The Mist, and we're friends, we're very close. And he said, hey, originally he wanted me to do Walking Dead, but I was not available. There's one of the characters.
Sure.
And then
Carl, clearly.
Yes, precisely.
They were going to take it in a much different...
a little darker edge, So eventually he calls me up and he goes, okay, listen, I do have something we can do. And I'm like, what's that? He's like, you can play the zombie in the tank. Because I'd read the script and everything. And I was like, zombie in the... He doesn't really have many lines. Frank, thanks, pal. You're not my friend anymore. But he said, no. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put you in the tank. We're going to make you up in such a way where most people won't quite recognize you. They'll look familiar, but we're going to do enough to your face, and so where you look a little bit different. And then what we're going to do in season 2 is we're going to tell an episode or more of this flashback story that will feed into some stories in season 2 and beyond. And but we'll also tell the story of the fall of Atlanta, and it'll be Black Hawk Down meets zombies. And you'll be the lead of that, and whether it's 1 episode or 2 episodes, but that's what it'll be. And then we're going to have you die at the end of those episodes, and then we're going to reprise the scene with Rick killing you in the tank.
That would have been awesome.
And that was the idea. So it was like uncredited. We kept it secret so that it would be a surprise later on when I showed up. Because the gag is done if in the beginning of this episode you see me and you're like, oh, well, we already know he dies.
Yeah.
The idea had to be that you're like, oh, it's a story about this guy, and then this happens. Oh my God, he got bit. Oh wait, he's crawling into a tank. Okay, now he's dying. Oh, it's the zombie tank guy.
Yeah.
So that was how it all went down.
How pissed were you when everything went down then and Frank left the show and you're like...
If you want to know how pissed I was, all you got to do is probably Google my name and Walking Dead, and you'll see me saying some things that I don't know if I should have said in the interview. The kind of stuff that that people call you up and they say, your manager goes, hey man, you really got a lot of balls. I really admire that. Never, ever do that again. Never do that again. And so, I spoke up, and I will say that I've had people on that show thank me for that. So at least the people that were involved were appreciative of what I said. Because there was just some weird stuff going on, and everyone was under gag orders, and I was privy to it. So I was like, someone asked me, hey, talk about that. I'm like, all right, pull up a chair. Is this on camera? Let's do this. Let's destroy a career opportunity for me. Why not?
I don't think you did that today. You did a good job.
Oh, today? No, I restrained myself.
No, I know. I'm saying today went well.
Today went well.
Really bad.
That day was a bad day.
Yeah.
It was a bad day. But, you know what it is just if a friend of yours gets hurt and publicly, someone has to speak up publicly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So someone had to do it, and the people that were directly involved couldn't. They would have, but they couldn't.
So they send in the brooding dick.
Oh, that's it. They don't call me the brooding dick for nothing.
Sam, I think you're a genuinely awesome person. Thank you so much for coming by. When can people see Being Human?
Being Human, we start airing our 4th season on the 13th of January.
Great.
And tell your mother, come on. Lady, what do I got to do? You never close your eyes. You know? No, that's not working. It's not working.
No?
No.
Right.
I don't want to be like your dad, dude. You know, I think that's awkward.
I kind of want you to be.
You want me to be your dad? All right.
My dad could literally beat up your dad. He's Starkiller, and he's also probably 40 years younger.
13 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. This was fun.
It's been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone watch Being Human. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you to Brian Altano, Nick Scarpino, Sam Witwer, and you, my audience. If you want to be in that real audience, go.ign.com/up@noon for details. As always, Brian and I will be responding to comments the first hour this video is live, so come tell us your favorite Sam Witwer moment. Mine is when he killed Luke in that Force Unleashed DLC. Awesome. Like, Luke is such a whiny little bitch. I have no idea growing up why so many people liked him. Get out of here. Anyways, we'll be back next Monday at noon with the Pine Sol lady. That is not a typo. But until then, I'm going back to bed.